Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are ETX ROCKS! Hit the brakes. Cut. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the ETX ROCKS podcast with yours truly, Boston Chris. We're sitting here in Hallsville, Texas at the notorious Red House, and we have a band that just showed up to be interviewed by the name of Outbound Train. Good friends of mine, Alan Wayne Nichols, Mr. Kevin Blaylock, and Doghouse Dave Stepani. I did not call you Doghouse Panties that time. So they're going to play us an original song, and this song is called Damn. We'll be right back after these messages with Outbound Train.
Jen Ford here to tell you about the best guitar shop around, Neil's Guitars and More in downtown Kilgore, Texas. Neil has been outfitting East Texas artists such as Cody Wayne, Adam Brown, and Rio Wallace with his great selection of acoustic guitars, mandolins, guitar strings, amps, and everything you need to get ready for your gig. Need lessons? Go see Neil. Need quick repairs? Go see Neil. You never know who you'll run into at this locally owned and operated shop. Supporting live music for years, Neil's Guitars and More at 119 North Longview Street in Kilgore, Texas.
All right, so we're back and we're sitting in the Red House, and I've got to introduce you guys to a good friend of mine. He's going to be co-hosting with us on this great episode of ETX ROCKS, and his name is Dennis Brown. Say hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
So once again, we're here with the Outbound Train, which is a fairly new concept here in East Texas. They just started performing together. Of course, all three of these guys have played with so many different bands locally and continue to do so. I know at least two of these guys play in other projects other than Outbound Train. I think, Kevin, you might as well.
About 23.
Yeah, 23. So once again, I want to introduce you guys to Alan Wayne Nichols, who is lead vocals and acoustic guitar. Doghouse Dave Stepani, who is harmony and upright bass. Yeah. And Kevin Blaylock, who is on percussion. So you guys say hello.
Hello.
Hey, hey.
All right, so when we did the outline for this show, we did not know that Doghouse and Kevin were coming, so we're going to try to make them as
surprise!
Yeah, surprise. Louise, my producer / girlfriend, was like, hey, we have 3 times the fun coming in.
Yeah. We just want you to be as unprepared as we are.
That's right.
Well, see, I was told by you, sir, that you were nervous.
Yeah, but I've had enough tequila this morning to kill that, so.
Well, that's always a plus, for sure.
We try to come prepared.
Absolutely. The first thing they said to me was, oh, good, we can smoke in here. So we'll get started. Most of these questions are geared towards Alan, and we'll try to involve you two as well as much as we can. Again, I do know a little bit about each of y'all, so hopefully that'll help out. And I know you guys' musical tastes are really all over the place, so this will be a lot of fun. But Alan, your musical style, I've been told by people that follow you guys that it's termed punk country. So can you tell our listeners what that means? Because that's just a genre you don't hear too much about.
Yeah, I would say cowpunk.
Okay.
Rather than punk country. But really, when people ask me what kind of music I play, I just say hillbilly music.
Right.
I have a lot of influences, from punk rock to metal to old school country, bluegrass.
Right. It's this might be the most extreme case of musical ADHD we've had on the show, and we've had some serious cases. In doing your background, the words ragtime and doom metal were part of that, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty far on both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I listen to all kinds of things, man. Anything that makes me want to move,
right? I
like it,
And you've got that extremely unique voice too, and it's all, I was talking to Louise while we were working on this episode, and I said to her, it's almost like he should have been born like 40 years before you really were, because that's where your style is. And she was like, no, we need him now.
Yeah.
And she's a huge fan of yours as well as I am. And I'll let Dennis ask a question real quick.
So you've been playing in bands since you were 15. When did you begin to see yourself as a musician?
I don't know, man. I don't really know what that means, I guess. I kind of do what I like to do, and I like to play music,
I agree.
And you guys can answer that question too. When did you guys first start seeing yourself as an artist?
Well, as an artist and a musician, I would say I still haven't because I'm a drummer. So. That ends that question pretty quick.
Like I always tell him, he just hits the things with the things. That's all you gotta do.
Not much musicality on that.
No, I was always in choir and band, playing instruments in church as a young child, and it always came pretty easy for me, and I always liked it, so I'm stuck with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be in bands now, playing again. There was a long time where my guitar just sat under the bed,
right,
collecting dust under there or whatever, and when we moved out here to East Texas, I finally got in a band again, and I've been doing it ever since. I
know a lot of people locally would know you as an upright bass player, but people that are a little closer to you know that you're a heck of a guitar player too.
I can play the guitar a little bit, yes.
Yeah, and
if we could get him to do them both at once, we'd really have to.
Yeah, we need to clone the doghouse.
Stand-up bass.
Yeah, for sure. So, Alan, you're also a songwriter. I know you're very proud of that. And so, what sort of songs do you like to write, and where do you draw inspiration for them?
I'd say I've always written songs more about the dark side of life, and I like to expose my own dark side.
Right.
I think it's my way of kind of working through it.
It's just kind of your way.
And I've always considered myself a good time musician too.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to party and have a good time when they come see us play. I don't really take my stuff too seriously. I'm not concerned about people sitting down and listening to all my words. I want them to get up and move.
Right. Well, on that, we talked about how your influences range from doom metal to ragtime and a bunch of other stuff. Surf and bluegrass and Americana and traditional country. So, as an artist, how do you define a good song?
A good song. Well, I've always listened to the words in songs, but like I say, anything that makes me want to move, I'm into. Anything that doesn't sound totally rehashed, I'm into it. I like unique things. I like original thought.
Absolutely. What do you guys think about that question as well?
Yeah, I feel about the same way. If it makes me want to move, or it moves me, if the lyrics are so that they move me emotionally, I consider that a good song.
So if it makes you feel something,
right?
Yeah.
And are you guys involved in the songwriting side of things too?
My case would be more arrangement,
Yeah.
just because if it don't flow for a drummer, it's not going to flow.
So
for
you
anybody.
write your own parts to the song.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool too, because a lot of times the songwriter will have a lot of input on that. Like, if they're writing I assume you're writing on your guitar, and,
Right.
And so, a lot of times that songwriter will, while he's working on the guitar, he'll hear that bass in there or that drummer. So a lot of times bands the individual musicians don't get to write their own parts.
Oh,
And
I
that's why I
definitely-
always ask that.
Well, we
And
got it because he could come up with something, and it'd sound good, guitar and vocals. Well, then when you add bass and drums, it'd be like, oh, well, then it sounds like it needs another part, or it sounds like this part needs to be changed, because once you add 2 more components to it,
Right.
it changes the whole feel of the song, and then you go from there.
And I welcome their input always.
Right.
I've always felt like in any band I've ever played in, I want whatever I'm contributing to be good, a good contribution to
Right.
the song. I don't ever want to make it sound less than. I always want whatever I'm doing to add to it. That's how I
Exactly.
feel about it.
So, how many instruments do you guys play?
Man, I play guitar, banjo, dobro or resonator guitar, with the slide lap style. Mess around with the lap steel a little bit. Just whatever's around, pretty much,
Yeah, I've played mainly drums. I fiddle around with guitar, and I played bass in a couple bands, and then of course sing really badly.
I started with the recorder and the sticks, and I moved up to tambourine, and
Xylophone.
and then xylophone came next, and vibes, and I played French horn in high school, and I played bass in high school, electric bass in a band in high school, and that's where I started to play guitar. I picked up my stepmom's guitar, and she had a chord chart, and I just started playing. And that's about it.
Well, I understand, Kevin Blaylock, that you play a heck of a karaoke machine too.
Yes, I can put some feels in the karaoke machine.
But for a professional DJ, he's really terrible at DJing. On the road, in the van.
Oh yeah.
We listen to the Slick Skillet Serenaders for
Like 5 times in a row.
about 200 miles.
Do we have another CD that doesn't have so much kazoo? Because I've heard a lot of kazoo for the past 2 hours.
I consider
on the road.
that my day off. I'm not DJing. I'm just riding. I'm more of a navigator.
Well, you're kind of known around these parts as kind of the go-to metal guy
Yes,
too, and
yes.
especially in the Longview area.
Yes.
And I know that's very, very important to you. You're very passionate about the metal scene in Longview.
I've always tried to. I've DJ'd metal night in this town for about 16 years, and I refuse to give it up. And I thank all the clubs that allow me to do it. But I always like a place where if somebody comes in and goes Slayer, they can get it there instead of getting their song skipped on the jukebox
Or Black Flag.
or Black Flag,
yeah.
Circle Jerks.
And I can tell you this, that if you're ever out on a metal night, even if it's not the karaoke night, if you happen to run into Kevin Blaylock at Memphis on a Friday night or a Saturday night when a band is playing, he will tell you all about 16 years doing metal DJ.
And my metal night's on Sunday.
That's right. Metal night each and every Sunday at the Memphis Bar, which was a
Shameless plug.
2016 top 5 music venue
Yes,
of the year
it
with
was.
the ETX Music Awards.
Stacy and Mary.
They're
did a
doing
really good job with
great
that
things
place.
with Memphis. Oh my gosh, it's just cool to see. I know they've had it for probably about a year now, but it's really cool to see music back in there.
Yes.
And not just the karaoke that was predominant there for so many years.
Yep.
And you see a favorite band of mine's coming up. Bebo is playing there soon. I can't wait. It's just cool to see metal music coming back a little bit to Longview.
Yeah, they got October 22nd. They got Gods Amongst Men and Death Row Bodine and a couple of really good metal bands in there.
Right. And it's frustrating for me to see these bands all have to go to Tyler to play, so.
Or Shreveport.
Right, Houston, So it's nice to have that in Longview. I hope it grows, because metal has a real big following in East Texas, and the bar that presents it in the right way I really think is going to benefit a lot from it.
They got the niche.
Right.
Yep.
So, Alan, I know that music is not your only artistic outlet, so tell us about what else you do on the side, or I guess it might even be your day job.
My day job, I'm a tattooer. I've been tattooing for the past 13 years, and my wife and I have a tattoo shop in Longview. We've been there for almost 8 years.
You guys just won an award.
We did, yeah. Locals love us.
That's right.
Yeah, we did.
And that's awesome considering Ricky Bailey's in town.
Yeah.
You know, so that's saying something that the people out there really enjoy going to Third Street Art. Third Street Art on Facebook.
Yes.
Spell that out. THIRD Street STREETART.
That's right.
On Facebook. Give him a like. He's awesome. I've had a tattoo out there, the Uncle Dallas. So what inspires a person to become a tattoo artist? Is there an inspiration involved there?
Yeah, you know, to make a living and not be bored, I guess. You know, I don't know. I just always wanted to make art, and that was I found that I could actually make a living at tattooing. It's hard to make a living doing art,
Right.
you know. And I've been getting tattooed since I was 15, so you know, I was pretty heavily tattooed when I got into the business.
Right. So what differences do you see between the visual art side of things that you do with the tattooing and the audio art that you do with the music?
I have a lot more fun playing music, you know.
Right.
Really. Yeah, I
Do you
really
think there's some connections in that with that artistic side of your brain?
Self-expression.
Yeah.
You know, self-expression has always been important to me. You know.
So how do you have the confidence to create art on someone's body knowing you can't really make a mistake?
Oh, you can make mistakes. yeah. You can make mistakes, and you know,
Just don't misspell.
you know, and usually you can fix them too. You
Right.
know, I don't know. Confidence has never been a problem for me.
Right.
You know, I think I've always had more confidence than talent. Really.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, with that confidence, you can fake the talent sometimes.
Yeah.
We did it last night. Just so you
It
go
can't be
into a
done.
4-hour set with 2 hours worth of music.
That's good.
So we already asked a cowpunk question, but I know when I met you, and you still play with Lulu a lot, and I mean the sound in that with you on lap steel and acoustic, and her voice is just wow.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hope we can feature Lulu on the show because a lot of people don't know about this girl and they need to.
Right. I tried to drag her along today.
That would have been awesome. But we'll get her here.
Yeah.
We will. But how did you meet Lulu?
How did I meet Lulu? In the tattoo shop. I tattooed her, and that was about 10 years ago. Yeah, I tattooed her, and she did a painting for me after that, and we kind of became drinking buddies for quite a while, you know. And then, we got together. It was about 10 years ago.
And I mean, she's, I can't even say enough nice things about her. Her voice is, there's nothing like her, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
East Texas wide, I've seen hundreds of shows in the last year, and there's legitimately nothing like Lulu Van Dyke.
Yeah. She's an incredible
And you
singer.
play in her band as well,
Yes, I
right,
do.
Dave?
She's got such a powerful voice.
It's incredible.
I
like,
love to play with her and Alan. It's
and
always a good
when
time.
she opens her mouth, she just drags you in, and
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you know, if she's
Oh, yeah.
playing for 2 hours, forget it. You know, you're not gonna smoke, you're not gonna do nothing because you're just immersed in that vocals.
Yeah, her voice can silence a room.
Yes.
Definitely.
And I mean, I know that she's had some difficulty in keeping the music going and all that, and I hope that she can get back into it like she used to be.
We all do, yeah.
Because
for
she's
sure.
just, I mean, East Texas is missing out on that for sure. So we have Outbound Train here, and you guys recently just started this project. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, maybe somewhere around there.
So I wasn't expecting all three of y'all. So the question was introduce us to the band. I've already done that, but tell us what each of you brings individually and uniquely to the project.
Well, I ride in the back seat in the van, and I smoke a lot back there.
I hope there's windows back there.
That's my contribution. I make sure that the stuff doesn't all fly forward when we hit the brakes, and we get there. We make it.
Well, my contribution is a navigator first and foremost. When we go out of town and play.
So you guys are lost a lot.
No.
He's actually a very good navigator.
I'm very good I've been doing this a long time.
What we did discover though is if there is a brewery between point A and point B, we may very well end up there before the show.
I will sneak breweries.
Well, that's
Well, we've decided one brewery per tour from now on. Since we got a little burnout on craft brew the last tour.
Yeah.
You show
I like
up
craft
and
beer.
Doghouse is playing his bass upside down.
and then other than that, I know they listen to a lot more country than I do. Like I said, I've grown up metal. I've been metal all my life, so I like to think.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When I found out you were the drummer, I was like,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I can be varied on drums and all that stuff, but what I wanted to be in this band for and to join it and all that stuff was it's fresh to me,
Mhm.
you know, because I don't listen to a lot of country. I mean, I like a lot of country, but I don't sit there in my truck and play it. I'd rather listen
Right.
to Gojira or Slayer or something. But I like to think I kind of bring a fresh view to it, you know, drumming wise, because I might not do something a country drummer would.
Mhm.
Because we got like Whiskey, we got a song called Whiskey that I'm doing basically a speed metal beat in the middle of it, which I don't think another country drummer would do per se.
No.
You know, so I like to think that I add just a little bit of weirdness to it coming from the metal side of
Absolutely.
things.
And he's a walking party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
He's a walking
He's a
party.
character. I've not known Kevin all that long,
Yeah.
but in the time that I have known him,
He is
he's
definitely a
quite
party in a
character.
can.
I mean, that's why I like playing with
People
these
know him
guys.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I love playing with these guys because they're so much fun.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, no matter what's going on, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what it's about too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If it's not fun, then there's no reason to drag all this stuff around and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I heard about the project and I heard who was going to be in it, and I know all of you guys individually from other things, I was like, wow, man, there's going to be some heavy-duty musical influences coming through there.
Yeah.
You know, with the metal with you, and I mean, you're all over the place, Alan, and you know, Doghouse is laying down that groove and faking the bass and all that.
I found it on the side of the road. What's to do?
But I was just like, wow, man, these guys are going to be busy.
Yeah.
And you guys have been.
Yeah.
And I know you guys have already been touring a lot of the state, you know, all over Texas. For such a new project, how did you make those kind of connections happen? Because you guys are playing in Austin and in Houston and San Antonio. And I mean, a lot of local bands have a hard time just getting out of East Texas.
Right.
And here you guys are 2 or 3 months old. You're already playing Austin and all these other places. So how do you make that happen?
Just friends. Yeah, I mean, it's
around,
connections
been
that
around.
we've had, you know, for a long time. It's just, you know, just friends of ours. We're like, hey man, we got a group. We want to come to town. They're like, hell yeah, they book it. You know.
Nice.
Yeah. Good friends. You know.
Yeah.
So where do you guys like playing the most? I mean, which town or city do you guys really look forward to when it's on when it's on this
Austin.
schedule?
Austin's really good.
Austin was
We're really looking forward. We played a show in Shreveport that was really fun, and we're trying to get back there in December. We're going to do another little stretch, hopefully.
Yeah, Shreveport.
Louisiana, Arkansas, and Dallas. That'd be December 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And yeah, we're looking to get into Shreveport. Shreveport people dug it last time we played there, and of course Texarkana's open to everything, you know. And both of those were through my metal connections,
Right.
trying to get shows for this. And the metal connection was Dallas too. You know, it's all because we're old and we know a lot of people for a long time. So it might be a new band, but we know a bunch of old people, so it works out pretty good.
What I like about it too is I think that Alan is going for there's kind of a niche, I guess is what you would call it, where a lot of people that grew up listening to a lot heavier rock, heavy metal, punk music are kind of coming back around, and we're kind of creating this country bluegrass, doomgrass, kind of a new
Cowpunk,
thing.
kind of
Hardcore roots music.
Hardcore roots music, probably a good way to put it, that I think a lot of people are interested in.
Right.
And that helps.
Well,
You know,
being
it helps.
associated with the awards, you know, I've been saying for almost 2 years that, you know, every genre of music exists here in East Texas. People think I'm lying.
Yeah.
You know, here I have y'all introducing me to genres I've never heard of.
Yeah.
The cowpunk, doom bluegrass. I mean, I've never heard these terms before.
They're out there.
I think, you know, a huge influence for me is Hank Williams III, you know, and I think he's really influenced that, you know, punkers and metal dudes.
Just kind of the crossover type.
Yeah,
guy,
you know, getting back to
because
the
his other
roots
bands,
music,
Ash
you know?
Jack and all these other bands are super heavy.
Right.
And when Hank Third played Longview, he had a country set. He did old school country. Then about halfway through his set, he was like, "All right, for all the country people that don't like heavier stuff, thank y'all for coming out. For the people that like heavier stuff, hold on 1 minute." And he'd come back playing some of the heaviest music that's ever came through this
And
town.
that show was a huge influence on me.
And it was the same guy. Just, I mean, he hit both ends of the spectrum on one night on one stage. So he's a good crossover to get the punk rockers and all that stuff.
Well, I feel like we try to put that intensity of those kinds of music into more of an acoustic show.
Right.
You know, and try to get.
And that's what's cool about it too, is it's like it's acoustic.
Yeah, we're not sitting in seats or anything.
Right.
You know.
But I mean, it's acoustic, but you guys are throwing out that energy of a full band, but you know, you're not necessarily plugged in to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So y'all mentioned Hank Williams III as an influence. What would y'all say are some other influences for y'all that, you know, help develop your sound? And stuff?
I come into it with, you know, kind of like punk rock like him. You know, that some of his newer stuff that he's writing kind of has like a Dead Kennedys feel, you know, like a punk rock type feel to it. You know, kind of got a Black Flag influence, you know, and there's a little bit of metal tinkering in there, but you know, like we want to keep it roots rock, you know, keep it old school and just enough of that stuff in there where people are like, oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, we don't want to come across as a rock band.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
we don't want to be a rock, and we don't want to be pop country,
Which can be hard to do.
Anything like that. We want to be
rock people in the band.
Yeah. Well,
We have to
y'all
steer
took away all
ourselves
my
away a little
drums.
bit.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
all
playing.
cymbals.
Well, I mean, it sounds to me like the strategy is there for you guys. That, you know, you're starting your show, and it's your strategy is to, you know, hey, we're going to show these people something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what your goal is each and every night, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, as to the influences question, you know, Alan's turned me on to a lot of music since I've been hanging out with him and playing with him. You know, he gave me a Reverend Horton Heat CD,
Oh yeah.
a couple Wayne the Train Hancock CDs.
Who we saw yesterday in Hawkins, it was amazing.
live. It was awesome. Some great.
You're lucky to
players
be
from his
alive after
bands.
that. I'm just saying.
You know, I didn't grow up listening to Hank Williams and Waylon Jennings and all that kind of country stuff. So to me, it was all new. Just
Right.
like when I played with some other people in town. When I started playing with Lauren and Al, every time they'd sing a song, I'd be like, "Wow, that's a great song. Did you write that?" Like, everybody in the world knows that
Oh,
song.
that was number one on Billboard for 42 weeks.
Yeah.
Stay with us, Steve.
Yeah, stop
The song's
admitting that
only
you
been
don't know
famous
these
for
songs.
60 years. First time I've heard it. Yeah.
I had my first Lone Star the other day.
All right.
And I grew up in Texas. So it was a shame.
So one last question that was kind of influence based. You know, you guys are, I mean, technically you're a country band, but I mean, obviously it's not country. So, I mean, if we're telling people in this episode, hey, this is a country band, they're called Outbound Train, how are y'all different than, say, any other East Texas country band people might see? Try to explain that one.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's why I don't call it country. I just call it hillbilly music.
Yeah,
I
you know what I
wouldn't
mean?
consider it country music.
No.
Yeah, because
That's
it's basically kind of a hardcore bluegrass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't sing
Like
about,
Americana on steroids.
Yeah. And we don't sing about Chevy trucks and tight jeans. And
Yeah,
we
thank
don't-
you for not doing that.
We don't wear those chandelier pants and all that stuff.
Y'all heard it here first. Chandelier pants.
Chandelier pants.
We just, damn, there goes that sponsorship.
What should I wear today? A cross or a fleur de lis?
You know, we just like to be our dirty selves that come up metal and punk rock and surprise people with how we sound. So when we walk into a bar, nobody thinks we're going to play country.
Right.
You know, hillbilly music. You know, we walk in there, but it's like they're just looking to kick us out to begin with. You know?
Right.
But once we get in and once we start with Damn, they're sold after that.
All right, so we have a new segment that we're going to start with this episode. This is called Rapid Fire, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Basically, the concept is we're going to ask 10 questions. You have 90 seconds to answer all 10, and you guys can shout out your answers at the same time. You guys ready for this?
Oh yeah.
All right. This is an Outbound Train rapid fire. Number 1, would you rather save the life of a starving child that you will never meet, or would you rather have an actual working lightsaber?
Save a
Child.
Save a
Lightsaber.
child.
All right, would you rather legally change your last name to Hitler, or would you rather be Justin Bieber's bodyguard?
Hitler.
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. Yeah.
Hank Williams or Bill Monroe?
Both, man. Yeah.
We almost made it, Alan. Almost. All right, stay local and be happy, or be famous and be miserable.
Happy.
All right, Walmart or Target?
Neither.
Guns N' Roses or AC/DC?
AC/DC.
Oh,
That's a tough
Oh,
question.
No, it's not. AC/DC.
AC/DC. We're gonna take
All right, would you guys rather go back in time to meet your ancestors, or would you rather go way into the future to meet your descendants?
future descendants.
Yeah, future. I'd go with
No,
future.
I'd rather go back.
Okay. All right, would you rather talk like Yoda or breathe like Darth Vader?
I already breathe like Darth Vader. When you hear me in the mornings, you know I breathe like Darth Vader. Anyway. The good old cigarettes.
All right, mermaids or unicorns?
Mermaids.
Mermaids.
True Vine Brewery. I know where that came from.
All right. Would you rather be stranded on an island alone or with someone you hate?
With someone.
With someone
I
Someone
hate.
I hate.
And last one, which would you give up if you had to? Being a musician or being a tattoo artist?
Being a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I already
You know
gave
that-
up being
being
a
a
tattoo
tattoo
artist.
So that was rapid fire. The first time you guys made it through, you're not hurting.
No.
So where can people find you guys on social media?
You can find us on Facebook at the Outbound Train.
Okay.
We've got a band page. Also, Reverb Nation under my name, Alan Wayne Nichols. We've got some free downloads there.
Very
and
sweet.
I think that's about it.
So you guys can get free downloads of the Outbound Train on Reverb Nation. I will be checking that out as soon as I'm done with this. That's for sure. Did you have something else, Doctor? Okay. Well, you guys, this has been another great episode of ETX Rocks. We're very proud to have had Outbound Train on here with this interview. You guys remember out there to keep on supporting local music and
East Texas rocks.
We are